A model of integrity, as any real spiritual teacher should be. He lives his teachings. He's not talking out of his head. He's describing his own lived experience in a way that transcends the word.
And his method is very unique, but it works. And it works, you could say miracles, but really it isn't miracles. It's about energy movement, energy shifting, dealing with things in your past or your ancestry, and just unblocking all these energy things that we have.
He's a scientist as well, too. I mean, he just loves, he seems to really enjoy and love going into the field to see what's at the root cause of whatever's going on in somebody.
And he just looks at everyone as manifestations of the divine. I mean, I've seen him when I would visit him at his home, just interacting with an insect. There was a little, I think it was a caterpillar, and he just put his finger above it. And there was this, he's noticing this connection and kind of like communicating and listening to all of these aspects of the divine.
So by some unknowable kind of miraculous grace, I met one of the great avatars from India, known as Narayani Amma. I met her when she was still quite young. And I won't go into details of what that was like, but she drew me over to India, and I spent 42 days and nights with her, and there were very few people aware of her divinity. And she did her main activity was puja. So she had manifested what's called a murti, a physical representation of her divinity. She manifested it in a bucket of water, container of water. It's about 18 inches tall. So every day she would do this amazing puja. She would put kumkum and flowers and offer all the milk and ghee and all the things that are in the traditional puja. Well, I invite you to understand what this means. You may have some sort of Western idea of it being idolatry or whatever people have made up about it. But what I want to invite you to explore, and if you're willing, step into a way of living. Every time, every occasion you encounter another human, there's an opportunity for you to perform a puja, to lean into, to be willing to recognize that every thought, every feeling, every word, every action you direct towards another person, you are either offering flowers or something else. The thoughts and feelings about that person is an offering. It can be a devotional offering, or it can be kind of typical human engagement. The invitation is to be willing to know this, to let this awaken within your heart. and becoming, and be willing to allow that to start to govern how you interface with each and every person, whether you're thinking about someone or interacting with someone. No, it may take some time for this to percolate through your system and make significant alterations in how you practice this or orient to this. The invitation is for you to recognize the relevance of what I'm saying. We are evolving from a world of competition, control, sacrifice, lack. We're evolving out of that world into a world of compassion, cooperation, collaboration. Know that every time you offer kindness to another person, with your intention, with your thoughts, with your feelings, with your words, you are reminding the other person the depth in them is worthy of your devotion. There is a divine principle, a divine source energy from which everything is made, in which everything exists, into which everything returns. There is no second principle here. There is a single divine principle. That is what you were made of. That is what every human is made of. Every bird, every animal, every leaf. It's made of that. It's our will and intention to activate this way of living within each of us in this call, in this group. Let's imagine this energy coming alive in your heart center. As Gina said, each individual's heart, the collective heart. Just have the will and intention that this come alive now. And have it rise up like a regal movement of consciousness through your spine and through your chakra system into the pineal gland in the center of the brain. And we just activate that pineal gland. Just have the will, pure intention. It's very simple. Just to activate this profoundly in the pineal gland. You come alive there. And through that into the Ajna chakra, between the brows, between the space between the brows where it's centered. This, you could say, called the command center, the heart, pineal, and the chakra. And know that your will and your intention with consciousness is what makes things real. And that when we do this as a group, the reality is amplified. And know that as we do this amongst ourselves, with each other and for each other, we are informing, consciously and intentionally informing the entire human race. That this is the world we choose to live in. We choose to live in a world of true love, of recognition, of true compassion. And we'll take it one step further and activate this into our DNA. so-called science of today only understands about 5% of the DNA. There's another 95%, much of which of the DNA is esoteric. We're at a stage in human development now when we have the privilege, almost an obligation, to activate our DNA consciously, intentionally, and purposefully. Held in the DNA are 12 names of the divine. We're entering an era when those layers are being activated, and we choose to participate in that activation for ourselves. That we begin and deepen our living in such a way that we are constantly offering a devotional expression to every human we encounter. Sarva Mangalam Mangale Shive Sarvata Sadike Sharanyam Trayambakam Gauri Rayami Namostute Rayami Namostute Rayami Namostute. Now, if you like, if you're willing, the invitation is to consciously intend that your voice be intimately related with the divinity of your existence, with the intention that as efficiently and safely as possible, you transition into a way of living in which the sound of your voice arises from this primal vibration, the primal frequency of the great Shakti, the Divine Mother itself, knowing that the energy is of more value and more significance than the meaning of words. And it's furthermore our will and intention that we receive the guidance and blessing of our higher self, our soul nature, our spirit guides, and the beloved masters who are always in support of our evolution and our realization. This is not a prayer, this is not a hope, this is our intention. And we trust that the universe will support this intention and reflect its unfoldment from broken tree limbs or dreams or an inner prompting to come into a call when it doesn't seem reasonable. And so it is.